All right, we are just getting things set up. Mike Green, I'm recording. Yeah, I'm good.
You are?
Yes. Can you turn off that, please?
Where is it? Oh, yeah.
The auto.
Yeah.
There we go. How we doing, everyone? Thank you for coming in at this later time slot. Want to give Dave a chance to get his live feed from live at 5. So, because he moved from last night because it's St. Patrick's Day, so we want to make sure we gave him time to do what he's going to do and announce Mike LaValle's memorial event coming up. I think it was June 12th, if I'm not incorrect. And then the rendezvous and everything else. So, just want to give him time to do that. And get everyone in and go with this new painting we're doing today, which is going to be kind of cool. It's going to be something different. We haven't done a portrait live. Oh, my mom's on. Hi, Mom. And Mike is on. We got a bunch of people on. How's the sound, everyone? The sound pretty good? Is it low? Is it high? What do we got? Oh, thank you, Nikki. Yeah, I love the pack of skulls. I'm going to be doing a lot more how-to very soon. I'm going to be doing a whole profile on each skull independently. Once I get through these couple motorcycles I'm doing, we're in the middle of our busy motorcycle season right now, so I want to make sure get through that. Then I'll get on that stuff. So I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing tonight. Good old little Jack from The Shining. And I gotta come over here and do one thing because it's off. Keep this on. So this is what we got going on tonight, kids. We're doing the famous scene from The Shining with a little bit of a background, a little bit of panel design. So I did 2 lines of tape, and I designed this pattern. What's up, Shorty? What's going on, brother? Part of the train gang. So I developed this pattern based on the rug from The Shining, the famous rug in the Overlook Hotel, and it's a repetitive pattern that I may use on a future bike or something like that. I figured it'd be cool to do here, and what I did is I put it in perspective and kind of pitched it down so it kind of has that hallway feel. Not extreme, just enough. Just enough. We're going to keep this kind of monochromatic because I don't have ton of time. What's up, Mr. Francis? Thank you for the plug. And guys had a great feed. Looked great.
Whoa.
What? Whoa.
It clipped out for a second.
Huh. So we're going to get things started out here. Super easy what I'm going to do now. So I got the mask done. This is done. I cut it out of the FBS blue mask. Oh, maybe.
Want me to turn Wi-Fi off?
Yeah, turn Wi-Fi off. So it should be better.
Yeah. Because it's hardwired, correct?
Yeah. So it shouldn't click. Yeah, stay away from room 237. Good one.
What was in that one?
That was where the old creepy lady was.
Oh.
That you didn't watch, but that's what they did. That's the scene from Ready Player One.
Yeah, that's the only knowledge I have of The Shining. I'm not good at horror.
No.
I'm good with horror games, not horror movies.
So all I'm gonna do. Oh, the other cool thing I got here is this is the cool air cap that Skip Baker worked on. This is, in homage to Mr. LaValle. This was actually part of the design of the Dead Sled, and he's made these cool airbrush caps, and they're available at his store, Baker Designs. You can get a hold of Skip Baker on Facebook, skipbaker@hotmail.com, and he's on Facebook if you guys know him. Really cool caps. They fit really good. They're really well done. So I got those. I got a black one, and I got the white one here. And we're going to actually brighten, I think I'm going to try to brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, so you can see a little better. And all I'm going to do, this back, I'm just doing a real simple fade I might actually give it a little texture and grit. Yeah, let's just do it simple. So I'm going to do the first pass pretty light. And this is actually Illustration Black from Createx mixed with a little Bloodline Vascular Violet. Just why not? I mixed this up quite a little while ago and it's been sitting for a little bit. And I'm going to do a light pass over everything. Then what I'm going to do is going to pull these out, because in the rug pattern, the inner octagon is brighter than the outer piece. So I'll do one pass here, then I'll take these off and I'll pass over the whole thing, and then I'll give you the two different colors without having to remask. Projects like this and the techniques I do here, this is a lot of what I do at my Airbrush Art Circus class, which is coming up. It's going to be up in Kissimmee, Florida on the 28th of April. Give it. Now this is Vascular Violet by itself. It's probably going to look pretty black on screen, but it's got a little purplish tint. I just wanted that kind of warm tint. You know, we're going to do some spatter. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see if we can get it a little brighter in here. I was trying something new with the lighting, but I don't think it's going to be as good zoomed in. So, let's, so for spinning, if you've never done it with a gravity feed, you can rock the trigger back, which is going to leave paint on the end of the needle, and just spray it. And then you can wipe it. Look, it's like blood spatter. Yeah, make it a little interesting piece. As Bob Ross would say, it's happy little blood spatter. You know, I went through my whole cup. I'm going to mix this up. If your paint's been sitting for a while, water-based or solvent, in a mixed cup, make sure you give it a mix, because the pigments will settle. And that sometimes is a cause of people having issues with paint flow. And before you dump paint into an empty airbrush, just put a dab of reducer in there first. Cool. Now all I did here is, this is, you know, the reference material. I have this area just taped up. So like I said, with the Airbrush Rendezvous and the Airbrush Art Circus, you know, I do complex projects like this. We start with usually like a simple lettering design, and then we go into something with the with like maybe the chains or something cylindrical. And we build to those two projects, and then we go into more complex projects. My class at the circus, we do probably 5 lessons, sometimes 6. And each one gets progressively, you know, more difficult, but because I work it progressively, you know, what you learned in lesson 1 will go into lesson 2, and you build upon that knowledge, and it's really easy to follow, and you get a lot out of it. But, you know, all my classes, and especially in the one I do with Coast, with me and Rhino at the Rendezvous is more automotive driven. The one at the circus is more illustration, technique, and stuff like that. A little bit of everything. Less automotive graphic. We still touch on it. But the big thing is I'm going to go over how to, in the classes, unlike my Down and Dirty Tricks live feeds, which are only 2 hours, the classes were 8 hours a day. I go over how to design these, how to lay them out, how to apply the vinyl, how to cut your stencils. We talk about, business, we talk about marketing, we talk a little bit about everything. So my class really rounds out, a lot of different stuff that you need in the industry. So if it's something you're interested in, definitely want to look into the Airbrush Art Circus. And as great as these live feeds are, we don't go over a lot, answer a lot of questions. Nothing beats a live class because you'll have multiple students asking multiple questions, and everyone has unique issues they need solved, and we have time at the circus and the rendezvous to go through all that stuff and really work on that. That's the benefit to the live program. And the way we run our program, indoor heated facility. It's in a nice hotel, nice rooms. Has a pool out back, which is going to be really nice. All you have to bring is yourself. You don't need to bring your airbrushes if you don't want to. We supply everything. Our sponsors have been very generous. Iwata's and Createx and Lumalore, Rupus, everything you need and want is there. So I say you just bring yourself. So see what I did there? I just pulled all those. And now I can just fade over all this. And now this is one color, that's darker. And then this is lighter. But by working the right order, which is called sequential masking, and if you take my classes, we're gonna use that term a lot. When to use it, why to use it, how to plan projects out so it's more efficient. So you're usually removing mask all the time, and you're never having to apply new mask each time. That's really where a lot of the problems come in, is when you have to try to line a mask over another mask. Even with the new FBS, which is awesome, the new clear green, you can line it right up and see it. But it still takes a lot of time. So working efficiently is going to make you more profitable, and take less time, and you got to enjoy the work more. At least that's how I see it. Any questions? What is the opening bid? I don't know if anyone's done an opening bid. Hey, my brother John is on. Hello, brother John. I wonder if Aunt Esther is going to come on tonight. She's come on the last few.
Really?
Yep. From a family up in Grand River, Nova Scotia. So I don't know why I've been wanting to do this one for a while. I did this pattern like a really long time ago. So you can see it a little better. It's not as dark as it looks. It looks a lot darker on film, on the feed. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this for a while. And so this week I was trying to think what to do, and I came across, there was a meme or something with Jack, and I'm like, oh, I got to do that. And I pulled up this, and I think someone last week mentioned like doing a pattern. So we kind of wanted to do some pattern work and just kind of show you kind of what it's all about and how it works. And these are some of the complex patterns I use in the baggers and the custom motorcycles we work on, with all different hexagonal patterns and all sorts of other patterns. And I got a really cool pattern. The bike I'm doing right now, the pattern I'm doing is pretty cool. I designed it a couple weeks ago for this bike. I'll try to show that to you in a little bit. But it is a picking and weeding nightmare, which I'm going to have to get my daughter on helping me with that one at some point so she can earn some extra money.
Oh, we got a starting bid. 200 from Dewey.
Dave at 200. That is awesome, sir. Thank you very much. I'm going to show you. So.
And he gets that on top of the pocket graphics.
Yes. So, this pattern, intricate, cool. But the one I'm doing on the bike right now is this one. How's that for a pattern? This one's a lot of picking and weeding, but it's going to be a really cool look on the bike when it's done. And Kaylee's going to have to help me weed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Okay, so we got that. So now I'm going to make sure I drop shadow this edge. And we'll make the edge all a little spattered and done. Get out. We could do some more of that at the end. Extra money that you speak of. So we do have an opening bid of 2. I'm going to write that down. Get Dave here. Dave, 200. Hope it comes out good now. Might suck. Cool. So now let's get him out of here.
225 from James Collier.
Yeah, you're gonna want to do a list in case I get too busy. So take your time to get situated. So now you're gonna have the open panel in the middle. I want to do the magic of television. I've already cut my reference templates. Ta-da! So what I did is I cut one that's a little bit, that's the broader area. That's, for the dark, for the mid-tones, and then this one is the dark.
Dave's back up
250. Cool. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Helps these feeds keep on going. The feed is 2 hours.
That looks so terrifying.
Oh, that look, yeah.
Ugh,
The
teeth.
The feeds.
The teeth look too 3D.
It's a 2-hour feed, but I probably spend, another hour and a half cutting and designing and prepping and setting up cameras, so it does take quite a bit. So I'm going to make sure we're lined up here. There we go, right there. Bids feed the feed. This is true. They do. So I'm going to give it a little purplish cast to start.
James is up with 300.
Great. I'm going to let Kaylee keep tracking that. Oh, before I do that, I don't want to get overspray out here, so let me just fold this back. You can kind of see that already showed up. That little bit of paint already showed up. I don't need to do that because I'm kind of staying controlled. I'm going to reduce this paint down a little more because I really want it thin. It's always a mix of playing with reduction.
Dave's out. You can't go over.
Dave's out. Thanks, man. Dave, I really appreciate it.
So that's the pocket graphics
Dave, do me a favor when you get a chance. Message me your address. I got to send you that Pocket Graphics. Like I said, this is like a mid-tone, and this is just, you don't want to spray a lot. This is kind of stencil 101. You don't want to spray a ton, you just want to spray enough to make tone, because I want to be able to soften that out. I'm trying to get all these little, what these kind of hairs are and stuff. But I don't want to spray like, you don't want to flood this, because then it's going to be really hard to turn it into something. You know, it's going to look like a stencil the whole time. But see those little dots? You know, see, it's very subtle and soft. What am I using for reference templates? Just regular paper. It's just, I usually use like a cardstock, like a thin cardstock. And James, no stimulus check in Oz. Oh, yeah, the stimulus check. So if you guys get those in the States, man, that's a good thing to use for the art circus. Oh, Mr. Leahy already beat me to it. Okay, so now you get the second one. I'm going to line this up. And this is kind of the tricky part. I probably should have done the other one first, because I need to make sure we're on track. Ah, there we go. I can line up those teeth. What I'm going to do, because I didn't make registration marks, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to put him in the same spot so it's all perfect. Then I'll remove the other one out from underneath it. It doesn't need to be like flawlessly perfect, I just need it close. Put you off to the side. Now I'm going to take the other one out of here. There we go. Hey, just enough. Now this, we're going to go darker. So I'm not trying to, you don't want to flood this in, because, you know, this is going to be the hair, so I want to be able to go in and do, you know, the hair. You know, I want to be able to do it soft. This is just for registration. You know, I don't want to flood this. I don't want to flood underneath there. It's just so I can get those tones in. Under here, I can go pretty dark, because in the reference photo, which I don't know where it went. Ah, here. You know, you can see it's pretty much all black under here. So, I mean, I can go pretty harsh in here. And then the eyes. So let's see what this gave us. See, by having those two tones, now I have my, my core shapes on everything. My roadmap. It's already there. And this is where now we can start softening things up. Before I do that, I'm going to soften a lot of it up by going in.
Recorded.
What's that?
This is not a recording. This is live.
No, we're live. So now I have this white that I mixed up with a little purple with that same vascular violet. I made up this color, but it's gonna look white on the canvas, because one thing we talk about in the Rendezvous a lot is is I just lost my train of thought. No, is not using pure white, not using pure black. It's always kind of a mix. And but you'll see on there that looks white. And what this will do, this will soften off. It'll soften the hard edges from using the template. And look at the photo reference, and let's bright highlight over here. And I'm just kind of building this stuff in now. Yeah, they see it. We'll tone this back later. What's that, Mike? Let me see what you're saying here. Da-da-da. Seems to be a huge part of the science, mixing off shades that appear different once applied. Not, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a science to it, or just not really a science.
They're just all talking about this, joking about this being a recording, and then Steve said, "Sorry, this is a recording, but I can help you with your car's extended warranty." Don't know what's happening.
Because Kaylee doesn't understand that joke because
I don't have a car yet. I'm not receiving it.
No, I know, but we all get calls from like cars we've had or don't have. Well, we're gonna call you about your extended warranty. I'm like, I got rid of that car like 7 years ago. It's just telemarketer calls and stuff. And see, I'm starting to build that tone and shape. I'm gonna whiten these teeth a little bit now. And this was a gray panel. This was Craytex Sealer Gray, their auto-borne sealer. Steely, can I have that in writing? You know, if you want to get...
The way that they're looking at each other is very unsettling.
I'm going to use a little Gerald Mendez just to get a little... So let's see if we can zoom in on that here. I want to really see if I can get that. I'm going to try to move this camera a little bit. Oh, Dewey's up. Dewey.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to try to move this in. And let's switch to camera 3. So I'm using Gerald's little texture effects. I think this is from 2. I'm using the inside. I'm just going to start doing some of this stubble. Might be a little hard to see. I think it's about as focused as I can get. I'm going to try to see if I can get a little clearer. It's pretty tight from where this camera is. So... you know, just where that stubble is. Just, see how that little bit, just... You can move it around. You know, this is kind of a mid. So you can get away with a lot of kind of just randomness that you're gonna tie in later. Oh, it is funny. That's what you're talking about, the way you look at each other.
Yes.
I love you. You're my friend. Are you my friend? Will you be my friend? I'm just going in and doing...
Someone can't... So...
Someone
I don't know why you can't see.
if you can't see, it's on your end, unless anyone else is having a problem.
They know it's on their end. They're just wondering why they can still talk in the chat and talk to everyone, but they just can't see the video.
Can you... Yes. Turn that back on so you can see both.
Someone said, or asked, you see that's not pure white?
What's that?
Someone asked, like, you said that's not pure white?
No. Nope, it looks like pure white on screen, but it's actually has a little bit of the same purple I'm using up here. The same purple is mixed into it. If I use pure white, it's going to be super, super bright. By doing just a little bit, hey, Crystal, by using it, if I use pure white, just be way too much. If I use pure black, it'd be way too much. So you always tint it. We're just in that rough stage now, so you can kind of play around with different looks and knowing that I can fix a lot of this stuff if I mess anything up, which I probably will mess some stuff up. And for those who know me, I don't do a lot of portrait work. I motorcycle work, I get a handful of them from time to time, memorial pieces, things like that, but it's not a huge part of what I do. So I figured, why not try to do one on live feed? And if I fail in front of everyone, at least I tried. Right?
It's like 9:30.
Yeah. So we might have to let Kaylee bounce out a little early, and I'll continue on because she has to get up at 5:30 in the morning for school. Us old people, yeah, we have to get up, but, you know.
I have to get up much earlier. Mike Green said your recent zombie Marvel portraits are really cool. Would you ever consider zombie portraits of famous movie stills such as the
You know, I've thought about it, and I probably won't do something like that, mainly for the reason Mike LaValle did a whole series called Celebrities, which was you're taking famous celebrities and, basically skullifying them. And I don't know if I would do that, just because it might be kind of seen as I'm doing what Mike did. Maybe if I come up with a way to make my own spin or a different take on it that doesn't resemble what Mike did before. And there's been a lot of zombie stuff, but I think from time to time I'll do one. But as far as a series, I probably wouldn't do a series of them. Another cool template, and this was made by Drew Blair. This is his micro dot series. It's really hard to see, but see, you can see through it. That's actually the stencil. See here, I'm going to switch to this camera. So, see all those little teeny dots? So it's great because you can actually give skin tone really, really well. Yeah, I can't really see it on camera, but it's really, you might be able to see it. I don't know if you can see it well or not. But when you get up close in person, you actually see like little pores in the skin. Just helps with that illusion. And he's got a bigger set that has them. And then, of course, you got, Gerald's templates are a little bit bigger, so we can bring those pores out here. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. So now, let's get up and try and do some hair here. I'm going to turn this back on. We're going to go here. Here, there we go. So I'm just going to come up and do the hair. Oh, you can see it? Good. I wasn't sure what... I have my monitor in front of me that, showing me what's getting broadcast. but I don't know the clarity on your end. So you know what I need to do so I don't contaminate is I need to get the I gotta keep this edge clean here, so I'm just gonna cut that out really quick. So let's switch to the down cam, slide that over. We're just gonna do a jagged cut. Oh, actually, you know what? This one already has some other stuff, so let's do this. I'm just going to cut this one up, which is the one I originally used. And when you keep cutting the same one you already cut, the nice thing is everything lines up. You know, and this technique, I learned a lot of this technique from a bunch of different people. One, Corey St. Clair, a lot of this. Watch the videos from Drew Blair. And then watching Steve Leahy does so much paper cutting at a micro, ridiculously stupid level. So, yeah, I'm going to put that there. Because I want to have that... take this back up here. We'll slide back into frame. Find my markers. I had to put markers on everything so I know if everything lines up. All kind of professional and shit.
Oh, apparently Ian came downstairs to say hi to you.
Hey Ian, what's going on, buddy? Thank you for coming down to check it out. Yeah, I'll get back to bed. It's a school night. Oh, I don't know if you have school tomorrow or not. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Kaylee has school tomorrow.
Yes. But it's Friday, but I also have practice.
Yes, Kaylee's playing volleyball now.
And it's going to be very tiring. Because my legs were in so much pain today from the game.
Well, she had 2 games this week. And practiced every day except today.
And I practiced both days this weekend.
So, it's good for her. She needs it. Right?
And I also had riding, too.
And horseback riding.
I went from being not active at all to being overly active.
Yep.
And my body's shutting down from it.
Oh, did you hear that, everyone? Her body's shutting down.
My body's not shutting down.
Oh, it's so hard. So hard to be 15.
My body's a catalyst.
She doesn't know what body shutting down is. Yeah.
My body is a catalyst.
So see, I'm using Gerald's little, I call this one like a sea sponge, just kind of what it looks like. Just do that, the beard. What do we call this, everyone? When we're using this template, what are we doing? What are we making? Come on, who said it? Let me get this blacked out down here. I'm going to try a little erasing here. Let's see what we get. This is the little Iwata Medea eraser, the electric one. Yeah, see, so look, I can get these nice little hairs. You can use an eraser or you can use one of these. This is a company Slice. So this is like, it's like a ceramic blade. So you can do hairs like this. You know, you want to do this stuff throughout the painting. You don't want to wait to the end and scratch all the hair in, because it's just going to be so dynamically bright. We're going to get in here. Is this some in here like this? Yeah, I can't really see them yet. Alright, let's I want to get back up to this hair a little bit here. That little curve, I think I'll use we're gonna go pocket graphics here. I'm gonna sharpen out this edge. It's only 6:30 there. Yeah, I know, Mr. Riggins. Mr. Riggins, we're gonna see you at another event, man. Hopefully when COVID's over, you'll be able to get out to one. It's been a while. All this black up in here. And I think this one, well, whoever wins it, like always, can decide on the clear type, but I'm thinking a flat finish on this. Mom is still watching. You're up late, Mom. I actually recently rewatched this movie. It still holds up. It's still a great movie. And then I watched the new version, Dr. Sleep, the continuation, which I actually really enjoyed. Thought it was done very well. I'm gonna have to thin this paint, I think, a little bit once I get down into here. Just a little on the thicker side for where I want it. What's funny, Kaylee?
It's all crazy. Uncle Todd just replied to Nana saying scary.
Ah. Well, this movie wasn't scary. Not at all. Actually, before I go to that dark, I should... should be here with this purple doing some of the mid. I think this purple's a little too purple, so we're going to darken this up. Now this is a...
Someone asked what's the dark color you're using?
So this is Illustration Black, mixed with a little bit of Vascular Violet. So again, it's not pure black. So if you look at the color, like now I'm doing like the purple, but it's purple, but it's, you know, it's purple black. So you see how it builds that nice shade, and then when we go to the black, it'll really darken it. You live 1 hour from Stephen King. Yeah, I'm not too far either, I don't think. I mean, I'm right in the Mass border, so I forget how far he is from here. His house is pretty bitchin' looking, especially with that awesome gate out front. I think I might switch this color into the micron in a sec. See how it's slowly softening up? It still looks pretty stencily, but when it's done, it shouldn't. Yeah, Payne's Gray would work. I find Payne's Gray is a little too blue for what I want here. But it's a really nice color. I do like that for certain things. And see, I just keep working it and, you know, slowly getting rid of that stencil edge. Shade this in. And just keep working it. Kaylee, where are our bids at now? 325?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still there.
Yep. DW's at 325.
Tell us what airbrushes are you using?
So tonight, for right now, this is just my HBC Plus. So this is basically, so you have your Eclipse line, which is what I use for the most part, which is just a regular 0.35 watt Eclipse. And that has a floating fluid nozzle. Still, super fine detail, works amazing. Then you can go up one notch to the HBC Plus. So, a little finer head. So, finer detail. So, you can't run as thick of a paint through it, but, you know, that's what it's not designed for. It's designed for more control. And then I'm using microns as well. This painting doesn't really require the micron. It's more a like than need. I want to soften up this hairline here. Which is kind of the shadow of the hair. Little bits. If you don't have an electric eraser, you can use regular, you know, these are just stick erasers, you know, old school typewriter erasers. So see, let me see if I can zoom out. So up at the top of the forehead here, I can soften up that stencil edge just by lightly erasing it back. I did put a little 40-50 in the paint, so it's less erasable than normal, but it'll still erase. if you put a lot in, it won't. You know, like I said, you can do scratching too. So like hairs here. In this picture, you really can't see much of it. It's just, there's a lot of black in this picture. It's really pretty. I'm trying to think of the word. It's pretty blotchy or pixelated because it's all kind of black and white. You know, and you can do brush work too if you want to do brush work. Your birthday is coming. I hope that's... Whose birthday's coming? Whose birthday's coming up? Steve, is it your birthday coming up?
I think Marge Cameron's birthday is coming up. Because they said, I want that eraser.
Oh, you want that eraser. But then you got to learn how to use it, Steve.
They're not that hard. They're just...
You know who could teach? You know who could teach you how to use it, Steve? Or who could teach Marge how to really use it? Rod Fuchs. Rod could definitely show you the way. So I'm gonna put that same purple I've been using into the micron, so a darker color for now.
Fine, no puppy then.
No puppy. Speaking of puppy, is Willow still up here? No?
No, I don't think so.
Willow was up here earlier. Put that core shadow on the nose here. I'm glad I took that black out. The black is a little too dark for the stage. So just building that shadow on the nose. Less is more. Took me a long time to understand that. Still learning it. Fuchs would only help if it was used in Fury illustration board. Which kind of board would that be, Steve? For those who don't know, the inside joke is, I think some people might not realize that Rod and Steve do like each other, but they love picking on each other way more than they like each other. So, but there was a debate years back at the Airbrush, ABU, Airbrush University, which, I think it was Airbrush University, of which was better, the cold press or hot press. Is that what it was? And you've never stopped since. You have to get up grossly early, Marge. Kaylee does too, so she's probably going to have to get going soon, which means I'm going to have to try to read comments and paint. All the humanity. really dark in here now. This is... Because you almost can't see the pupils at all in here. Someone's starting to fade.
Yeah.
What time is it? Kelly, what time is it?
It's almost 10. It's 9:52.
Okay, so Kaylee's going to finish off here at 10, go to bed. And I will keep working for a while on this piece and attempt to finish it this evening. And get these wrinkles in there. But I've never painted this one before. I always wanted to, so... For me, once you get the eyes done and the face structure is not too hard. That's where you just build in shading and tone. We'll see if too small. Do some beard here. See that? Just moving the shield, the template as I spray. Thank you, Shane. See, pot graphs are good for just getting in those little shapes. Find a curve that matches.
What program are you using for 2 screens?
So...
ATEM software control?
Yeah, so this is a Blackmagic Studio Switcher, ATEM Mini Pro. So it allows me 4 camera inputs. So I can come to you, I can go back to cameras, I can mix in a floating, and I can do all sorts of other stuff with it too. Like Kaylee could bring up our sponsors, who I typically use. Yeah, we can bring in graphics and stuff like that. It's a system I've been working on for quite a while now.
There we go. There it is.
Yep, so we can bring in graphics like that. Or info about the Airbrush Art Circus. We can bring that up quick. And then I can just do it back to them.
That's
trying to get this mouth in here now. Because the teeth, man, you gotta have these teeth right. Let's get in here with this. Line this back up here. This is where if I was at like the World Wheels doing a show, so I'm like, oh, use a stencil. That's cheating. And that's when I hand them the airbrush and the stencil and say, here you go, you do it. Show them what you got. And it's funny, they always back away. So I think Kaylee is going to retire for the evening because it is past her bedtime. Oh, Esther's here. Hello, Aunt Esther. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, Kaylee is going to retire for the evening so she can get up at 5:30 for school in the morning because tomorrow is a day at school.
My alarm is set for 5.
She never gets up at 5.
I try.
She sets the alarm. Good night, kid. Thank you.
Good night.
Gotta go to work now. Hey, David, thanks for checking in. Appreciate it. Ah. This is where when I get down here, the erasing and stuff is really going to come in. Hey, thanks, Larry. Appreciate you guys showing up, checking it out. And this is about the time where Jack needs a drink, right? Scott, thanks. I'm going to keep going on this feed and get this thing done to near done anyway. So what I'm doing now, if it's hard to notice, see the amount of shake I'm doing? I got the needle barely open. Oops. A little too much. A little too aggressive. Electric eraser stat. It'll just be little beard hairs. Nothing to worry about. It's starting to look like stubble. Josh Sweeney, thank you, sir. We need Josh to rank my camera setup. Josh was very helpful. Came up here a couple weeks back and helped me with some ideas for my photo. If you don't know Josh's work, he is one of the best photographers around. His automotive photography is absolutely legendary. He has shot some of the best stuff. You know, dream cars that, you know, even getting to see them is rare, let alone shoot them. So check out Josh's work. Shooting for Details, SFD Photography, I think is what your page is, Josh. Feel free to put it up. I'm on decaf all the time. I can't drink caffeine anymore. I can, I just really don't. I've luckily found some good decaf coffees. So back to what I was doing. See how I'm shaking? I got the needle open just barely. And that's going to help me kind of make a little bit. I'm trying to get out of frame here. Let me switch out. Switch out and zoom in. Yes, this photography is mind bending. I gotta paint something from. I gotta go through your photos and see if we can do a collaboration at some point. I'd love to paint something you've done. Someone needs to get Rod Fuchs in here and let him and Leahy go at it. That'd be awesome. So again, like stuff like this, for those who's joining, this is a project I started about an hour and a half ago. Made the pattern in the computer, designed it, pitched at an angle, so it looks kind of forced perspective. Just kind of has that sweeping look, and then plotted it out. And this is, a lot of what I go over in my plotter class. Not plotter class, in my Down and Dirty Tricks class. And the reason why it's Down and Dirty Tricks, I go through a host of all these old tricks that we've used in the industry for decades, counter masking, rips and tears, cylindrical shading. So my class, you get from beginner to advanced level stuff. But I bring you through it, working through it slowly enough where you retain it, and you move on to the next lesson and learn how to integrate that trick into the next trick. See, I'm almost at the fun stage, and all my airbrush artist friends know, like Steve knows what the fun stage is. Fun stage is when you got everything pretty much where you want it. It's mapped out. You kind of dig in the flow, and now you can just start picking away at the details and making things better and better and more believable. As long as you don't mess it up. He would cry too much. Someone get Rod in here. So Steve, what am I doing wrong here? Come on. Critique my ass. Not my ass, my painting. If you were me, what would you do right now? Get that nice dark crease under here. eyelashes. Shade that eye a little bit. Now this is where you start looking at your photo reference and just start picking up on nuances, all the little things. You know, the other thing I want to talk about, you know, as far as the classes too. I mean, I'm toting my class because it's my class, and I want you guys to take my class. It's selfish of me, I know, but you know, I got to take care of me. But there's a whole host of other classes going on at the circus. Even from beginners boot camp, which is like if you've never held an airbrush before, you want to learn the basics. Angie is teaching, I think it's a 2-day boot camp class that teaches you from never having one to the bare bone basics, how to use stencils, how to use the airbrush, how to clean the airbrush, how to, you know, do everything you need to get into it. And what we've done in some of the classes, like mine, is you can finish that 2-day and then come into my class on day 3, because I have lessons 1 and 2 on days 1 and 2, and then I always start something new on the 3, 4, and 5. So you can come in at that 3rd day and pick up my class on those lessons and work from there. It's a great way to kind of get your feet wet and get started beforehand. But you can see how just short term it's just gone through subtle changes, and I've lost that stencily look. Now I'm going to go in here, I'm going to soften these teeth up. Let's once the paint's flowing and you're happy, this is when you get in. And you're going to softly separate these teeth from each other. Nothing but now. This is practice. This is brush control. You don't need a micron to do this. I could do it with an Eclipse. The micron does do it a little easier, more consistently, but just little soft shades. We do classes of mass. We haven't done classes of mass in a while. I do offer one-on-one or small group sessions that we can put together here at my studio, but you're basically paying for one-on-one time, which is my full rate for the day. But I do offer them. We used to do a program back in the day in Mass, but we haven't done that in a while. And the problem with Mass, it's extremely expensive to hold a class in Massachusetts, which is why we don't do them in New York or Mass or places like that, because the hotel stays and everything are just too damn much to do it. Let's get on. Okay, I'm going to go back to the big eraser. The nice thing about these electric erasers is they have large and small erasers. So now I'm going to go to the bigger one. I have to do some white in there. This is not enough. So for those just joining, the bid on this, high bid is, last time I knew, or unless I missed something, was Dewey Dave at $325. If anyone wants to get on that action, and dethrone Dave. I'm not gonna stop you because so I love you, Dave, but I go in, I'm going to get some white back in here. Zoom out. Thank you, Skip. Skip, if you want to put a link up to your page for these, I was telling people about the caps and where they can get them from you. So feel free to throw a link up for people. Will this erase some highlights here? Don't really gonna go too gray. Alright, before I get too far, I'm gonna go back in with my off-white, which again, this white has a little purple mixed in. I'm gonna hit some highlights. Look at the photo, there's some highlights right in that eye. See that little glint right there? There's a little bit on the forehead here. We've got to make this super thin right now. Again, that's the color, see? It's purple. But when you put it on this, it looks white. Yeah, this cap is modeled from what they did on LaValle's last car he built, which was called the Dead Sled, which had aviator skull themes throughout. And Skip, did you do the designs on that originally with Mike, or did you like refine it into its casting? What was the original deal with? I don't know what the original thing with that was. Got some highlighting here, some bright spots in the head. Come under this, a little fold here. Thank you guys for staying on. I know for some of you it's late, some of you it's early. For me it's getting late. Let's get these pearly whites shining. Nice, that little drool right there, little highlights on the lips. See, just that subtle little thin white. Female lips are a lot easier because they're way more defined. Men's lips are pain because it's just, you know, you don't want them to be super defined. Link for the caps, please. If you want, Crystal, just Harry Skip Baker is the one that does the caps. You could private message him. He could definitely get them for you. He's the one that makes them. And I bought those from him. And I bought those from him. I'm not just toting this stuff because he gave them me free. These I paid for these because I like to support people who make stuff. A lot of people think because we do the feeds, we get everything for free. That's not the case. We do get some stuff. What time we got here? What are we looking at? Time check. Anyone give me a time check? Because I can't see my clocks. Anytime, Skip. Oh, the other cool thing that Skip made, if you guys want a cool tool, this thing is awesome. I'm going to find it. If you have the Iwata Eclipses, this is awesome. So the Iwata Eclipse has the floating fluid nozzle, and you got to use the wrench to get it off. Well, Skip made this handy dandy little tool here that just goes right over the top. It's got nice knurls on it. And you just pull the cap right off, and there's your fluid nozzle right there. Put it back in. Because the nice thing, it actually holds your whole head assembly safe. Oh, it's out. Come on, get back in here. And then just pops it back on. There you go. Awesome little tool. I forget what you called it, but Skip designed this one as well. 10:20, thank you. I think we'll do this for another, like, here 10 minutes, and I think we'll be at a pretty good point to call this puppy done. I think that I might put a little bit more time into it after the fact. I usually do. Yeah, and for Dave, I'll put a little extra love in it. Dave's been a great supporter of me and the events we do, and Dave also makes some really killer shit. Dave makes some cool skulls and stuff. Actually, I got one back here. I painted one of Dave's skulls. Here's one of Dave's skulls. Look at that. This is a candy apple red one I did. Ooh. I believe it's porcelain. Right, Dave? Was these ones porcelain? But Dave makes these as well. These are awesome. And that is Createx candies over a silver sealer and then just cleared. See, Dave, now you just paid for a plug of your product, and now that's a tax write-off if you buy this. If you win. Don't congratulate him yet, James. You can get back in. Someone else could get back in. He doesn't want it yet. I kid. Kind of. So I'll pull this stuff off. We'll start doing the current bid is at $325, Skip. So now I'm going to start making this look good. I'm going to have to thicken up the white when I go back for that. So let's go back to here. Yes, Dewey Dave's at $325. Thank you, sir. Anyone, how many here saw this movie in the theater? I didn't. I was too young for it. But I remember going, I think I was seeing Jaws or whatever I saw. I remember had previews for this movie. Scared the crap out of me. Because it was the elevator scene with like the blood pouring out. And that was like the previews. It was the 70s or 80s, right? You go to a preview back then for like a PG movie and they're playing previews for this thing. Not bad for a 2-hour portrait with a pattern. And this is kind of the stuff when I teach in my class that's big, is how to do projects like this in a good time frame, so as a business it stays profitable. You know, if you have to spend 30 hours on a painting to make it look, you know, awesome, which is great, but if you're only getting $200 for it, $300 for it, well, you might as well work at McDonald's if you're going to work, you know, 30, 40 hours on something for $200. You know. So the goal is to show you how to do production work that's custom, all in one, so, you know, you can knock out projects like this in a timely fashion, stay profitable, and enjoy what you do, you know? Try to get the best of both. That's the way I see it. That's the ways I likes it. Yeah, the twins, Steve, man, those freaking twins. I was watching a documentary on when they did the Dr. Sleep, the new version, and they talked about, you know, they basically, those twins, like the scene where they show them like all hacked up, I guess they like pretty much blindfolded them so they couldn't see the horrible scene that they were actually filmed in, because it would have just like ruined them for life. Now that hair coming across the face. Good night, Skip. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you at the circus. Oh, I'm glad he's gone. Love Skip. Skip's awesome. And I have this piece of tape running down the middle. It'll be nice, just a clean white line. Give it almost that panel design, like if I was doing a motorcycle. This is still that purple color. You know, I haven't gone back to that dark since like the very beginning. I'm going to go there in a sec just to kind of wrap this up, but... Gary, good to see you, buddy. Thank you. Alright, let's get everyone to bed. Let's wrap this puppy up. I'm going to darken this out. Let's put a few drops of black in. Doesn't take much. I might actually take a paintbrush and do a little thing. Just some little highlights. Not really on him, just on the broken door that he axed his way through. Again, this is a stage of a job. We talk about this in class a lot, where you can stop at any time and it looks good. It looks, it's a successful piece. It looks great, depending on the customer's budget, depending on what they, how much time you got in the bike or the artwork. Can determine how far you're gonna keep going. Oh, you're still working, Gary? Okay, I'll keep going just for you, Gary. Just for you. Darker over here. Hi, Mr. Churchill. Mr. Churchill, the creator of the Airbrush Art Circus. Alright, let's darken these out. And Dave, you can decide later, Crystal, if you're going to want this in matte clear or gloss. Let's get the white in here. Wrap this thing up. Put some pure white in here. Not pure white, but less reduced white. And we'll go through and now look at all this. His teeth need to be super white. I think that was like the creepiest thing. It's these big, bright white teeth coming through the door. Is what you see. We'll get this nice ripped edge here. We can zoom in. You guys can see that. So right now, the highest bid is $325 to Mr. Dewey Dave. So we're gonna start calling it. $325 going once. $325 going twice. That price will include the shipping too, Dave. I'll send it to you. Because I got to send you the podcast folder too. a little too long in here. It needs to be smaller and darker. It's the fine-tuning stuff at this stage. This is also the stage where you're done, and you can take it too far and ruin the whole damn thing. So I'm gonna get ready to stop. Dave has money? When did that happen? I guess he really likes the shiny piece. And I am very appreciative of that fact. And we pull these tape lines, sign it, and Mr. Dave is going to take this puppy home for $3.25. Looks cool. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to rough this edge up a little more so it's not so crisp. I just want that side crisp. Oh, it's actually for your wife? That's a good man. Well, I appreciate the support, Dave. Thank you very much. This is yours. It's coming to you. I'll clear it up. I got to clear last week's panel. And we'll get this one off to you. Not too shabby for a 2-hour feed, I don't think. Brighten up the camera a little bit. You can see it a little bit better on. It's hard for me to Ooh, that just went out of focus. We're gonna not mess with this one. I'm going to leave that where it is. So what do you guys think? Cool project? Worth the late start? Thank you, Mr. Leahy. I know it's not super small, but back in. And we're going to add some extra spitting on everything. Smear. Cool. That is going to complete our feed for this evening, everyone. Thank you for checking it out. Don't forget, if you want to learn some stuff, come to the Airbrush Art Circus, sign up, get your seats reserved. Flights are still cheap, hotels very cheap as well, so it's a good time to do it. Florida has very little restrictions, so as long as you stay clean yourself, you're not going to have a problem pulling the event off. And it's, we still got quite a few more weeks, so you got time. that is going to be a wrap. So I hope you enjoyed the feed. I had a great night. Thank you to Dave for doing the promoting my feed on his, and then me doing this after. It was a great night, and I had fun doing this one. I was a little nervous doing a portrait on a live feed in 2 hours with the pattern, but worked out good. So thank you for checking it out. See you guys next week. Next Thursday night, I'll be back to 8 o'clock. My Down and Dirty Tricks live feed. Don't forget to go over to my YouTube channel, my Thin Air Graphics YouTube channel. Sign up there. There's a lot more videos and how-tos there. And go over to McKay Fine Art, McKayFineArt.com. So where I have all the downloads, like the rose pattern from a few weeks ago, and the vector set for the dragon, the chain, the how-tos. It's all up there. So definitely check it out and have a good night. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.